everyone, it's Mika and I'm Lena and I'm from the Healthcare Landscape Group. In this video, I'll be talking about my main video, which is on the topic of the types of muscles. Now, in this week, we're going to continue with our main topic, our topic for the next 5 weeks, which is the muscular system. So, in this video, I'll be talking about the main types of muscle tissue, which is the smooth muscle tissue, the skeletal muscle tissue, and the cardiac muscle tissue. And the 4 main parts are on the board. So, let's start first with the types of muscles. So, firstly, for the smooth muscle is involuntary, so it's involuntary movement. The smooth muscle is located in our blood vessels, our digestive system, which lines the outer linings of the small and large intestines, our stomach, which helps to digest those foods that we consume. And it's also in our lungs, helps us to breathe without thinking about it, our bladder, our eyes. It's involuntary movement. It's uninucleated, which means that it has one nucleus, so uninucleated. It is spindle-shaped, so it's thin, spindle-shaped, and it's not striated, which means that it is not striped. It also helps with digestion, respiration, etc. So the things that I've drawn here are some of the organs and systems that it is related with or works with. So yeah, that is for the smooth muscle. And as you can see on the board here, there's the smooth muscle. You can see the nucleus. Each cell has one nucleus, and this is the muscle fiber, if you can see on the board here. Next is the skeletal muscle, and as its name suggests, it is from the skeletal system. So it lines the outer walls of the bone. It is long. It is multinucleated, which means that one skeletal muscle fiber has lots and lots of grains, so lots of nucleus. Multinucleated. It is voluntary muscle, which means that we think about it and then our brain sends signals for it to do the job. Like when we run, when we do something like pick that hot dog up or turn off the lights, we stretch out our hands and push that button. So that is voluntary muscle. It is striated, which means that it is striped. It works with skeletons, it works with our bones to facilitate movement. It helps to regulate and maintain body temperature through those movements. So when we move those muscle fibers, it creates body temperature. It generates some body temperature and helps to maintain that body temperature as well. So that is for the skeletal muscle. So muscle fiber. Next is the cardiac muscle fiber, which means that it is in the heart. And as you can see here, it has striations, it is stripes like the skeletal muscle. It is involuntary movement, which means that we don't think about it and it just works. It is uninucleated like the smooth muscle, which means it only has one nucleus for each cell, as you can see on the board here. And it is branched. It is branched, as you can see on these 2 illustrations. It has gap junctions, intercalated discs, which means that those discs helps to contract and facilitate movement. And its functions is to pump blood, waste removal, oxygen and nutrient supply, regulate contractions, and autonomy and coordination. So as you can see on the board, I want to show you this illustration. As you can see on the board, there is the skeletal muscle. As you can see, it has striations. This is the cardiac muscle. It is branched. It has intercalated disc. And as you can see here, this is the real pictures of muscles. As you can see here, there's one nucleus. There's multiple nucleus in one cell. There's only one nucleus in each cell. There's only one nucleus in each cell. So that is for the 3 types of muscles. that is for the first part. The next part is the muscle characteristics. So there are four main types of characteristics for muscles. There's extensibility, excitability, elasticity, and contractility. So contractility. I want to show you a picture of, the characteristics of muscle, and it is right here. Here. These are the characteristics of muscle. There's irritability, which means ability to respond to stimulation, and I think that is excitability. Yeah, that is another word for excitability. There's contractility, the ability to shorten when it receives sufficient stimulation unique to muscle tissue. There's extensibility and elasticity. Both are written on the board. So excitability and irritability are the same. And as you can see, the extensibility is ability to stretch and lengthen beyond resting length. Elasticity is the ability to return to resting length after being stretched. So after being extended. Yeah, that is the muscle characteristics. That is for the second part. The third part is the similarities and differences between the three main types of muscles: smooth, cardiac, and skeletal. And I've also got some pictures to show that as well. So I've got a Venn diagram, some more pictures. Okay, so here are the illustrations that I have. As you can see, for the cardiac muscle, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, the cardiac muscles are only found in the heart, as I said before, the bones and skin for skeletal muscle, and internal organs, performs involuntary, voluntary, and involuntary. So responsible for pumping blood, aiding physical movements, facilitate functions, move internal organs, comprise of branching chains of cells. I've talked about these characteristics before. I've talked about striated and not striated, self-stimulating. So for the cardiac muscle, it is self-stimulating. The skeletal muscle is not self-stimulating, but the smooth muscle is not self-stimulating. So it has to do with the voluntary and involuntary. So there are other types of similarities, differences. These are the differences between the three main types of muscles, how they differ, and as you can read there. Here is another illustration of how they differ. As you can see, this is branch, this is spindle shaped, this is long, cylindrical, multiple, and peripheral. This is usually single and central, and this is single and central as well. Next, here is the Venn diagram that I was talking about. The cardiac, skeletal, smooth muscle, how they differ, how they are different, and how they are similar. So in comparison, they all have two things in common. They have actin and myosin filaments, and they have this type of calcium involved in their contraction. So the skeletal and smooth muscle, their fibers are not branched. That is what they have in similar. The cardiac smooth muscle are not voluntary. That they are involuntary. So that's what they have in common. And you can look at this. You can pause the video and look at this Venn diagram and see. So that's basically for the similarities and differences. They have similarities and differences in voluntary movements, involuntary movements, how they are shaped, how they are sized, and basically their functions and things like that. And finally, I want to show you a few pictures that I have left. As you can see, I have a picture of the cardiac muscle, and it has the nucleus, as you can see here. It has the capillaries, the intercalated disc, like I talked about before, the gap junctions, the cardiac muscle fiber. This is the cardiac muscle fiber. This is the gap junctions and nucleus, capillary, the veins and arteries, and the intercalated discs there. Next is another picture, and it's similar to the first one that I showed you. It is just illustrations of the skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle, but this one is a little more is clear. The smooth muscle, as you can see, is spindle shaped. This is branch, and this is long and cylindrical. As you can see, this is a close-up, the real human muscle fiber. This is also a close-up, and this is a close-up of them bunched together, tissue, muscle tissue. And finally, this is the structure of the skeletal muscle. So there is the bone, there's the tendon, this is the muscle here, and yeah, this is the tendon. It connects the bone to the muscle, and it helps to contract, relax, and facilitate movement overall. So that is the structure of a skeletal muscle, a voluntary muscle. So yeah, to wrap up this video, I have a fun fact, which is the gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the body. It is in your hip, while the stapes, which is just the stapes, is the smallest in the ear. So it's connected to the stapes, the bone, the smallest bone in the body. And here is the smallest bone, the smallest muscle in the body, also connected to the smallest bone in the body. So the gluteus maximus very large in your buttocks area, while the stapes is in your ear. So that is the fun fact that I have for today. I hope that you learned something new from this video, or just reviewed some of the things that you have learned. Thank you for listening to my video, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye!